What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here for episode number 4 of season 1 of F1 2018 career mode. This is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix around Baku. If you guys are familiar with F1, you guys will know that this circuit is pretty unforgiving. Street circuit, as you come to expect. There's a high potential for crashes, and that dreaded turn 8, the castle section, is always the scene of many crimes. So we'll see how we go this weekend. We managed to glide through the practice programs fairly well. The only ones we didn't pass were the qualifying pace and the ERS management. Those are the two ones I find the most difficult so far on this game. But otherwise, it was our straight line speed that really just got us out of trouble in actually passing some of those objectives. So very, very thankful for that. Smooth start to the weekend. Heading into qualifying, hopefully the pace is good and we can take the fight to our teammate. Let's go.
Welcome to qualifying in the Republic of Azerbaijan. The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green and the fight for pole position can get underway.
Okay, so here we are for qualifying. It seems that this area of my game needs some improvements. Just the one lap pace of the AI is very, very strong this year. And we really do need to be driving out of our skin in order to match it with these guys. So we'll wait and see how it goes. I do feel a little bit sluggish through the middle. No, middle sector's alright. It's actually the first sector. We go through the castle section with quite a bit of ease. We managed to negotiate that fairly well. It's the slower 90-degree right-handers or left and right-handers that seem to catch us out a little bit. So you can see 35.4 from my first lap versus like people in low 34s in the first sector, whereas we match it pretty much with the best of the best in the final sector. That's down to our low downforce that we're running on a pretty low downforce car, it must be said. But I just feel like with how strong the AI are in a straight line, I need that potency in a straight line to have any chance in the race. So I don't mind if we maybe qualify badly, if it means we have a good overtaking car for the race. But yeah, I didn't want to make any further compromises to the setup. I feel like it was pretty darn good as it was. Setting 1 minute 39.7 on our second run there. That was a really good lap, and we had one or two kind of lag spikes over the course of that lap as well, but it didn't really affect us. So heading into the final couple of minutes of qualifying, we're going to be hard pressed to improve on this time. We really are maximizing this car. I feel like the only improvements now we need to find are probably setup, probably suspension, ride heights, suspension stiffness, anti-roll bars. That's the area I need to work on. I know what I'm doing with the downforce. I know what I'm doing with the camber settings, and to a degree, I would say the ballast as well. It's that suspension geometry area, which probably could do with some work. As you can see there, the car was not reacting well to the bumps, and I guess the running over of the curb. It was very, I don't know, it was like a bouncy castle through there. The car was not reacting well or landing well. But this lap so far has been pretty good. We're 2.5 tenths up. We lose a little bit of time as we cross the line because versus our previous lap, we had slipstream from Grosjean, I think it was. So we improved, but do we get out of last? No, we don't. So it's last place by 2 tenths to Sergei Sirotkin. Charles Leclerc, pretty good time there, 38.9. He is some 7 tenths ahead of me. So yeah, a bit of work to do. And if history is anything to go by, Baku is a bit of a strong track for the AI as well. So I guess this kind of a result is expected, but heading into the race, there's always a chance of safety car. And with our straight line speed, I feel like anything's possible.
Obviously, I expected a better session, but these things happen from time to time. Try to make up for it in the race.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Daniel Ricciardo. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Max Verstappen, and Sainz, Grosjean, Ocon, Perez, and Nico Hulkenberg, Leclerc, Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo. They've taken a grid penalty, and Van Dorn, Gasly, Hartley, Lance Stroll, and Sergei Sirotkin, Magnussen, and Mr. Monaco. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Just like Dorothy not being in Kansas anymore, we are not in Monaco anymore. Last place on the grid for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This is going to be a tough one. We're having a play around with the strategy today. Being that we're last place, we have nothing to lose. Everything is to gain in this Grand Prix. So we're going to play around with the tyre setup. I think I'm going to start on the supers. I was judging the tyre wear, and I think we might just about be able to get away with supers to ultras using the two softer compounder tyre using a league racing strategy, but we'll have to play it by ear. We'll see how the tyre wear is by the time we get to like lap 15 or something, 14, and we could go to ultras. If not, we could just play it safe and go to softs.
Sorry? No, don't do that. What good would that do? We can't do anything to the car, and we have a race to get on with. Do not try to come in. Just form up on the grid, okay?
Aw, come on, Jeff. You know fun. I wanted to start from the pit lane. But anyway, I was just playing around with the engineer speech. I forgot you could do voice commands. You could say, like, championship standings or whatever, and it would come up for you. So I'll have a play around with that as the season unfolds. But 5 red lights, and away we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, round number 4 of Season 1 of F1 2018 Career Mode. Heading into Turn 1, a little bit of a lunge up the inside of a couple cars. A Haas and a Williams has been dispatched of, maybe 2 Williams as well, but that is a net gain of 3 positions as we head into Turn 2, up the inside of Hartley as well. That's P16, nice driver for Turn 2 as well, and we might be going on the attack on the next group of cars, trying to squeeze out that Honda, who doesn't really seem to be lacking anything in a straight line, so that could be a viable option in the future possibly for, I know Red Bull are going to be looking forward to the progress of Honda. Up the inside, P15 of Van Dorn, he gets a nice exit though, and makes things difficult for us. Into the middle sector now, went in a little bit too deep, we're going to have to leave Van Dorn some space on the inside. Job done, and that is us up into the top 15 now finally. Please do not... Yep, he's lunged me. He's lunged me. It's side by side again. So Van Dorn not giving up this position in this Azerbaijan Grand Prix, side by side into the castle section. Thankfully, Van Dorn backed off, and we finally get that position. But it came at a cost though. Look at the gap we've left to the cars in front. That's a bit of understeer through the final corner. It's not what you want. Sebastian Vettel has already crossed the line, and we're still going halfway down the straight. That is absolutely unbelievable. Speaking of unbelievable, here comes Hartley in that Honda. I'll tell you what, Honda is not lacking anything in a straight line this year. Those guys are going to be one to watch out for when it comes to maybe even next season. We'll have to wait and see. I'm talking about the game, of course. Got to think about those. Oh my goodness, this is 4 wide on the back straight. My attention span is a bit like the size of a goldfish. The Toro Rosso comes out on top. I had to hold my breath there. That was absolutely insane. Let's get a replay of this. I was just going to say about the regulation changes. We need to think about that already. We need to think ahead. But look at this. Forward thinking from the Toro Rosso of Brendan Hartley. Gets like 3 or 4 spots there. I think it was the McLaren of Van Dorn who lost out the most to everyone. So, yeah, not a good straight for him. He must feel like he's still powered by Honda. But lap 8, you can see this is Sebastian Vettel coming out of the pits just in front of us. He rejoins just behind my teammate, Charles Leclerc. Looks like he's struggling for tyre grip at this stage. He's really started to fall off in the last 2 laps, and we're closing in massively. So potentially a fault of the AI, or maybe just my teammate just doesn't seem to be looking after his tyres all too well. I noticed this was a trait in the Chinese Grand Prix as well, so this could be something we could expose potentially as the season unfolds. Maybe we're just easier on the tyre at the start of the stint, and the tyre looks after us at the end by giving us pretty good car pace. But lost the back end there going through the castle section, on the approach to the castle section. Just got a little bit too eager on the throttle, trying to get close to Leclerc, who's going really slow on the approach to corners. So doesn't seem like he's got too much confidence heading into some of these corners. So we're going to see if we can go up the inside here into this left-hander. We think better of it. It's a very, very tight corner. So easy to make contact or just end up in the barrier. So we decided to bet against that one. Nice exit onto the... Can't believe I've done that. We should be able to get him anyway, despite the really bad exit. With Slipstream, with DRS, with high fuel mix modes, and also ERS to play with, we should be able to get this guy. But here comes Bottas around the outside of my teammate, and potentially around the outside of me. Mercedes power versus Ferrari power, and it looks like we come out just on top. I think that's ultimately down to our low downforce setup that we're running, just keeping us in the game there. So, great job. P9. A lot of people have stopped, it seems, in this Grand Prix. All the Ultrasoft runners not able to take their tyres all too far, it seems. Bottas putting the pressure on now as we go through the middle sector into this downhill left-hander. He goes up the inside! My goodness. Bottas is playing for keeps. He does not want to give up this position in this Grand Prix. I think I'm actually going to let him go through here. There's no point in holding this guy up. He's clearly faster. Are you serious? Valtteri, what have you just done? I cannot believe this. Valtteri goes for a dive. Oh my goodness, that is a spectacular crash. That is actually scary. That's the scariest crash in career mode I have ever seen. Look at this, the onboard from Valtteri. He goes for a dive. The gap is not there. It's not there. It's ruined my race as well as his. Look at this. I had low engine modes, low ERS modes. I was letting him go. But maybe I'm partially responsible for that. Letting him have such a run on me. How are we still in this race? I do not know. But Valtteri's lost both of his wheels. We've got all 4 wheels on our wagon. And we can press on. I can't believe that. We're going to come in. We're going to change the front. Oh no, it's fine. We've still got front wing. Are you serious? So do we have any damage at all?
Right, our current set of rubber is looking a bit worse for wear at this point. It's not going to be long before it falls away from us completely. Stay alert. Degradation is pretty bad. The grip is going to fall away quickly.
So, unbelievably, after having one of the biggest crashes in my career mode history, we have no damage. Despite running simulation damage on this game. I think it helped that we went back first into the wall. I did jam on the brakes as well as we were approaching the barrier as well. I had that presence of mind to just slam on the brakes to avoid actually totaling myself in the Grand Prix. And we were able to carry on. Unbelievably. But now the strategy has changed. Our tyres have been really cooked by that high-speed spin. A lot of rear damage to the tyres, I would say. So at this point, we've lost a lot of time. We've lost a lot of positions. We're in P13. We're essentially nearly a pit stop behind the people we were racing before. That's Ocon out of the Grand Prix. He's got an engine failure. So I think our only play from here is hoping that there's a safety car. We're going to stick to our guns with the 2 softer compound strategy. We're going to run the supers until they die. Or until the Ultras can make it. So I'm thinking around lap 16.
Check your MFD for a new
And then diving into the pits and hoping like hell that there's a safety car that's going to bunch up the field, get us right on the back of the queue, and we can attack and get in the points again. That's our only hope in this Grand Prix. We're 15th place and still yet to make a stop, so we'll see how it goes. The race is essentially out of our hands. To be honest, we're lucky to still be in this race. So we're going to press on. We finally made it to our pit window, lap 16. The tyres are in the 70s in terms of tyre wear. And this is also going to be a good test as well, just seeing how far the tyres can go, what are their thresholds, when do the tyres puncture. This will all be handy information going forward in terms of strategy, in terms of league racing, lots of things. And since this race is already out the window, we may as well try. 80% on the right rear. The tyres are really sketchy now. Any high-speed corner and the back end starts to go, as you can see there. But we finally make it into the pits now. We're going to put on the ultra soft tyres and then run these to the end of the Grand Prix. We're not out of the woods yet, though. I feel like these tyres may still struggle to make it to the end. I think it might be a slower strategy, but if the safety car does come out, then I feel like this would help us. There's a yellow flag in the third sector. Someone has stopped. I think that is a Toro Rosso. Pierre Gasly, that was. But unfortunately, no safety car. Not even a virtual safety car. As well with the crash that we had with Bottas, I don't know how that wasn't a safety car, given the spectacularness of that crash. That's a word, look it up. But anyway, this is a battle for the lead. Sebastian Vettel trying to overtake Lewis Hamilton for the lead through turn 1. Trying to go around the outside, couldn't quite make it work. Hamilton going defensive, making it work to absolute perfection. There's a bit of contact as well between the two of them. Not the first time you've seen those two drivers come together at Baku. But lap 24 for us, our race is over. Safety car never came out, never bailed us out, and so we're going to finish last out of anyone completing this race. Lewis Hamilton takes the flag. For us, yeah, it's going to be 17th place. We couldn't even catch up Sergei Sirotkin, who was like 5 seconds up the road. It looks like he's closing in on Brendan Hartley, who's now really struggling with some kind of a problem. But in the end there, the race was ruined by the crash.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So Lewis takes the victory then for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Double Ferrari podium, which is, I mean, from a team family perspective, a good thing, I suppose. But, you know, for us, there's nothing really to get excited about, really. It was just, it was our worst race of the season. We qualified last and we finished last, pretty much. Well, 17th place, but yeah, just a real shame. Like, if not for that crash, we could have really got in the mix with the top 10, I feel like. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say because the tyres really did die off in that race, and I probably would have gone for the 2 softer compounds anyway. So it's hard to say, but lesson learned nonetheless. Daniel Ricciardo, after starting in 13th place with a grid penalty, he recovered quite well to get P6, but it won't be enough for him to keep the driver's lead in the championship. So for Ricciardo, unless there's a huge uptake from Red Bull's development area, he's not going to be in the chance to win the championship this year. But for us, driver standings, I think we're still 14th place. No, we dropped to 14th place now. Constructors, I know we definitely haven't moved. We're still in 8th place, so not the end of the world, but it still could have been much, much better.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy.
What, crashing?
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
No, I wouldn't say that. We managed to get through quite well with our straight line speed.
You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners?
I think someone misjudged a gap that existed.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
What do you want me to say to that?
It's looking like your team is lagging behind in terms of development. What's the reason behind this?
Patience. Everything is building up to the Spanish Grand Prix. We've got some pretty darn big upgrades coming for that race.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Claire. Once again, getting rinsed in the interviews for our performances, but hopefully that turns around very, very soon. In terms of our championship now, we actually have some contract negotiations to do and a few resource points to spend as well. I think we passed another mini objective, 400 resource points for getting 2 championship points in 2 races. So that's going to be another handy bonus for us. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be our first little look at contract negotiations. So hopefully we can get a cheeky little upgrade from Salva. So let's see how it goes.
It's time for us to renegotiate your contract. Here you can see the current deal. Once negotiations begin, the team will make you an offer. You can accept if you like, but I strongly suggest we push for better terms.
Yeah, so Emma's asking for better terms. I would certainly like better terms as well. This is where you put everything on the table. You can ask for better pit stops, you can ask for better upgrade speed, you can ask for first driver status, or conversely, you could just say, stuff you guys, I'm off to Mercedes or something like that. But I was just playing around with this for a few minutes, just seeing what was going on there. You can see at the bottom right, my value to the team, and then there as well, what the white thing is the proposed contract value. But as I was changing things, that value was not going up to correspond with what I was worth. So ultimately, I got turned down when I asked for too much.
They aren't coming round to that proposal. Let's try something else.
So I don't know if that's a glitch, whether it's hidden for a reason. So it's a bit ambiguous as to whether the team is going to accept your terms, whether your proposed new contract is too valuable versus to my realistic value. So I decided, okay, I've asked too much. I'm going to lower my expectations. I'm going to lower the resource bonus. I think I got rid of pit stop efficiency as well. I mean, that's not a huge deal. The big deal is being first driver and also just resource points, bonuses. And I also wanted to upgrade 2 parts of one department at a time. Having to wait is just a real pain in the butt. So I did that, and I also increased the expectations by the team. I've said I'm going to get 16th place in qualifying from now on, which I haven't done yet. So hopefully the upgrades come in clutch for the next episode in Spain, and it'll be easier to achieve some of those promises. I sound like a dodgy politician now, so yeah, I'm in hot water if I don't live up to those promises.
All right, the terms have been agreed. All that's left is to sign the paperwork. You'll be on this new deal from the next race weekend.
Awesome. So the pressure is on now to deliver for the team. They've given me better terms, and I've got to give them better performances on track. It's a win-win scenario if it all goes well, and this is a really, really exciting part of career mode now. Being able to be in control of your own destiny in a way. But now we're actually going to pick our rival.
Remember to select a driver that you consider your rival from the Rivalry screen on the workstation. Performing well against your rival can earn you respect and better terms when it comes to our contract reviews. Here you can see a list of eligible drivers to declare as your rival. The more challenging they are to beat, the more the paddock will respect you for succeeding. Just be aware, you'll lose the same amount of respect if you come off second best. So it may be wise not to be overly ambitious.
I agree, and I'm actually going to play it safe for this one. We're going to pick Sergei Sorokin as our rival. We've been consistently beating Williams, I would say, in qualifying, but not the other teams. I don't feel like we're at that level yet, so I feel like it'd be a bit too risky if we pushed the envelope a little too far. Given that we've already upped our expectations by the team, I don't want to double dip and end up falling on my butt on both ends of the spectrum. So we're going to play it safe. We're here for the long game here at Sauber, and I just want to ensure job security, really. That'd be the worst thing, getting fired from my own Road to Glory career mode team. But guys, that's been it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. To see plenty more racing game content, F1 2018 content. It's all still yet to come, and the game is still yet to be released. So once the 24th rolls around, we'll be doing some more online stuff, and should be pretty darn exciting. Until the next episode, the Spanish Grand Prix. Hopefully some big upgrades are on the horizon. But until then, I'll see you next time.